Wednesday, January 13th. There is the closing bell. With the S&Ps finishing up about 8 points, the market is playing good old musical chairs. Will the Russell continue to slide going into tomorrow? Let's dive right in, break this market down, and then go over the top stocks of the day. We take a look at the night session and we saw a range of about 28 points. We trended higher into about midnight, consolidated, and then ultimately came back down. However, around 7:30, we trended higher and it was trend up for most of the day. Now, we did see some sizable volume come in around 2 o'clock. Over 21,000 contracts were exchanged in the 1-minute candle in the ES future contracts. Now, what happened? Well, the Fed beige book came out as well as our federal deficit number. And this was a sizable buy coming into the marketplace. However, we did trend down and we're seeing a little bit of a bid coming up in the final minutes of trade. On a daily perspective, it's just good old healthy consolidation up around this 3780 level. We can't expect to climb higher every day, but going sideways is a good thing. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ and see if it has turned it around. And we take a look today and we're up about 0.63%. So the NASDAQ was our leading index on the day, however, not by much. After seeing 2 sizable down days, we're seeing some nice bid coming into technology. Now, when we compare it to our Big 5, we can see that the Big 5 was up over 1% today. So it actually led our NASDAQ today, and it helped the S&P get about up 8 points right there. However, it's not a lot, but we saw a lot of heavy lifting from Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and even Tesla. So when these 6 stocks are all clicking, you take a look at Tesla here, it's going to be hard for this market to go down. Now, if you combine the Big 5, that market cap's over $7 trillion. You add in Tesla, you're looking at well over $8 trillion. When these 6 are getting bid, this market is very, very strong. Can the small caps keep it going? Let's move on over and take a look at them. And today we can see the Russell put in an all-time high. However, it was in the night session and we trended down about 0.7%. It's actually flip of the NASDAQ. So what's going on here? We're seeing some rotation out of the small caps and into the favorite 5 stocks that everybody knows, plus Tesla. So it's just good old musical chairs and money rotating where people feel safe. Now, when we check out some of our sectors today, what was up? Well, utility saw a nice bounce back, up almost 2%. We have technology right behind it. See, it's just consolidating here. We see healthcare up, still up nice. And what was down? Well, financials were flat on the day. So financials are still hanging in there. We're seeing some selling in the software, but it's consolidating, guys, as well as the energy sector down 0.78%. But do you blame it? Energy's been on a nice tear, and it's going to be something to watch going forward. What lagged today? Well, materials was our worst performer, down over 1%, but it too is consolidating in this area. So mixed for the most part. I expect our advanced decline line to look very similar. And we see 55 advancing, 45 declining, and it mirrors our sectors. You can see it's about half up and half down for the most part. But financials hanging in there is a very big sign. You want the financials to hold strong in this to keep this marketplace together. Otherwise, tech has to do some lifting, and tech did do some lifting today. However, ultimately, when we do see full correlation, 90 up, 10 down, or vice versa, 10 up, 90 down, 95 up, 5 down, this is going to be a very, very mean move. So if we can get everyone participating, financials, energy, and all of technology, this marketplace is going to roar. So the bonds managed to be green yesterday. How did they do today? And we take a look at the 30-year treasury, guys, and it was up 0.63%. So the bonds are getting another day up. However, it was a wick. Now, when we look at the TNX is seeing some pullback, down over 4% today. What do you expect? I didn't expect us to go green, all the way up to 1.5% yield. Down is all right. The bonds are cooling off and getting a little bit of a bounce, potentially a squeeze in the bond futures. So things are cooling off for now in the bonds. How did the volatility index do today? And we take a look at the VIX futures and they are down over 3%. Now, this is a very poor read on volatility as these are the Januaries and we're rolling in a week. You can see even the VIX is down, and that it too is a poor measure on volatility. However, the VVIX, which measures all of volatility was actually up 1.87%. This tells me traders are bidding up volatility at a later date in time. Now, when we take a look at it on an intraday, you can see we gapped up in the VVIX, we trended down, but during power hour, we saw a nice little pop. The VVIX is going to be very important to watch tomorrow. Is it going to stay up or will it retreat back down to around 115 level? Could be the new norm, and we could just be shuffling here, but keep your eyes on what the VVIX is up to tomorrow. Let's cruise on over to the dollar index and check out some of our commodities. And today we can see the dollar index is up 0.27%. We're above that 90 handle, and the dollar is fighting. Now, if you look back on a weekly, this level back in 2018 is a very strong area of support. It's going to take a lot to breach this level. My guess is a stimulus drop is going to be enough to take us down into the mid 80s. We'll keep our eyes on this day by day, but let's see some of our commodities. And we can see today, the crude oil's pulling back a bit, down 0.58% in the futures. Now, this too, I don't expect to go up, but it is trending in the right direction. How did gold do with the dollar up? Gold's actually hanging in there, up about $4, up 0.23%. Nothing crazy. When we look at silver, it is down 0.5%, as silver is more speculative, and traders seem to get more impatient with silver. As for Bitcoin, Bitcoin was up over 5% today, and it's putting in some nice consolidation. Now, I didn't get a video out today, guys. I had to do an oil change, and it took up a lot of my day, so I really want to do an in-depth analysis on Bitcoin, so it will be coming soon, guys. I'm sorry for that, but for the most part, Bitcoin going sideways, that too is healthy. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. Now again, this week for the most part has been very boring. We're just kind of rotating from tech to small caps, but don't buy too much into this political news that we're seeing on the internet. I don't think it's going to have that big of a factor on this marketplace. However, I did see Biden mention a $1.3 trillion number, so we could be finding more about that in the coming weeks. However, going into tomorrow, keep your eyes on the VVIX. Will it get a bid underneath it, and can technology hold together? That with financials, can the financials stay flat, and energy? The three of those are pretty big cogs in this marketplace, so keep your eyes on those sectors as well as the VVIX. But other than that, let's get right into it and take a look at the top stocks of the day. So we go over to the scan tab, we hit scan, and we only have 5 tickers on this list today. Coming in at the number 3 stock of the day goes to Plug Power Inc. Plug today was up 5.25%. Huge volume coming in it today. Now, Plug was 3, it dropped out to net, but I'm talking about Plug because everybody's searching this stock. With a market cap of $32.5 billion, it keeps getting bigger. On a year to date, Plug is still up 116%. However, we're seeing some profit taking. Now, what does Plug do? Well, Plug designs hydrogen fuel cell systems that replace conventional batteries in equipment and vehicles powered by electricity. So, Plug has been very hot, as you guys know, and it's still seeing some momentum from that 50-50 deal news from yesterday. However, keep in mind, guys, it is hard to borrow, so it was getting a short squeeze in it today. You can just see we got pushed down hard, squeezed higher, and we just kind of consolidated here for the most part. Now, when we throw Plug on an expected move, it's well above the upper edge on the week. Remember, we came into this week expecting $5.86 of move. 3 sigmas takes us to 71.36, which we did get above that level. Now we are below that. This level should slow down. If we do see profit taking in Plug, potentially could be a 2 sigma move, which would be around like $11, $12, putting it around like 65, 66 range. So it is all right to see Plug cooling down here. What is scary, seeing that sizable volume in it, but if Plug comes down, look for it as a great opportunity to get long. Coming in at the number 2 stock of the day goes to Intel Corp. Today, Intel was up just a little under 7%. With a market cap of $233 billion, Intel is a big company. Now, on a year to date, Intel is up 14.6%. However, this is a nice gap up with some nice volume underneath it. What does Intel do? Well, Intel designs, manufactures, and sales. Now, what does Intel do? Well, they engage in the design, manufacture, and sale of computer products and technologies. And why are we seeing such huge volume in it today? big moves coming in pre-market. Well, its CEO is stepping down and a new one is being put in by an activist. This news came out and the stock just erupted, and then we consolidated sideways for the most part, seeing some nice volume coming in right at the close. Now, when we throw Intel on an expected move, it just erupted today. So we came into this week expecting $1.96, and you can see we got rejected right at that upper edge. However, with this new CEO news, we erupted higher. Now, a 4 sigma move puts us around 59.49, which we're below that level right now. Got rejected. 3 sigmas around 57.53. This stock overreacted. I expect it to cool off a bit. However, CEO news is exciting, but does it validate this huge pop? Look for Intel potentially to cool off, maybe come back down to probably a 2 standard deviation move, which would be about $4 and change, which would be like 55.70, call it. Coming in at the number 1 stock of the day goes to Peloton Interactive. Today, Peloton was up 7.29% with a market cap of $48.9 billion. Peloton, on a year-to-date, is up 14%. So it's seeing about half of its move in today's trade on the year. Now, what does Peloton do? Well, they sell connected exercise machines and fitness classes. This was a hot stock during the lockdown, and it maintained its hotness. You can see it put in a new all-time higher, and it is putting in a very nice cup. Now, why is Peloton up today? Well, it did see a price target increase from B of A from 150 to 175. We look at it on intraday, it was a beautiful trend day up. I look at it, it's hard to borrow. So shorts were getting punished today, and we kind of consolidated here. On an expected move, Peloton was expecting $10.58. However, that upper edge at around, call it, what is this level? 169 and change. We got rejected at that area ever so slightly. It's going to be hard for Peloton to breach this level, so my guess is Peloton will hang out around this level unless shorts continue to get squeezed. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. Did you get a chance to watch any of these tickers? We didn't have many stocks up over 5% today that had a sizable market cap, but if you're looking at some other stocks, comment a ticker down below. I'd love to take a look at it and give you my take on where I see it going. Other than that, if you've enjoyed today's video, really appreciate it when you guys hit the thumbs up. It means a lot to me when you guys show some support. And if you're watching me for the very first time, I do these every single day. Show some love and hit that subscribe button. That will really make my day as well. Other than that, any comments, questions, feedback, leave it down below and I'll get back to you. But other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Take care. Peace!